Hi, my name's Danny Kingston and I write a blog called The Food Urchin, and I also write for Great British Chefs, and today I'm going to show you how to make a sumptuous treat for Mother's Day. Now this is a slight twist on the Millionaires shortbread, okay? And what we're going to do basically is take the fundamentals of that gorgeous biscuit and just elevate it a bit, okay? So we're going to make a nice chocolate ganache, we're going to smother the base with some caramel, and we're going to give it a nice sprinkling of some salt, and we're also going to use some nice sweet crust pastry. And then really just to push it a little bit further, we're going to make some glorious swirly patterns using some white chocolate. Right, well let's get to it. We need to basically grease the tart tin first, okay? So I've applied a liberal amount of butter. So I've got some ready-made short crust pastry, which is, to be honest, a lifesaver. So what I want to do is just lightly flour the surface here. I mean, it is already at the thickness that we need, but I just want to widen it just that little bit extra. Right, what we'll do is we'll just curl this over the rolling pin there, bring the tart tin back into place, and just lift it across. Now, I do want to create a bit of an overhang here, purely because you sometimes find that the pastry does shrink a little bit. Okay. Right, number one tip before you do put your greaseproof paper down with your baking beans, don't forget just to basically pierce the bottom with a fork just to create some holes. Because once you do take the greaseproof paper off and you want to give this another 5-minute bake-off, you'll sometimes find that the centre will start to rise. Now, before we do anything else though, we need to chill the pastry down, which will stop it from shrinking when it goes into the oven, okay? Now, you can put this in the fridge for 30 minutes if you've got the time. I'm going to stick it in the freezer because I don't have the time, and I'm going to stick it in the freezer for about 10 minutes. Right, that's nicely chilled down now, so what we're going to do now is we're going to blind bake this pastry. So what I need to do is put a sheet of greaseproof paper in there and fill it with some baking beans. So I'm going to just basically part bake it and then take the greaseproof paper off with the baking beans and then finish it off for another 5 minutes, just so it's got a nice kind of light biscuity colour. And I'm quite happy with that there. As you can see, it's beginning to catch a bit on the edge there, but that's not a problem. Now I'm going to leave this just to cool off just for a little bit, and I can put the rest of the ingredients together that are going to go into this lovely, lovely tart. So what we need to do is just basically, in a bowl, I've got 100 grams of butter here that I've cubed. Now I've got some good quality dark chocolate. Now you're after at least 70% cocoa, really. Now what I've got going over on the hob right now is I've got a saucepan that's filled with just simmering water, and I'm going to place this bowl on top of the simmering water, and we want to just really gently melt this down and just give it a stir every now and then, just so the butter and the chocolate incorporates all together. I'm also going to repeat the same with the white chocolate. Right then, we're nearly there folks. We just need to beat together the sugar and the eggs. So basically I've got 100 grams of caster sugar here, and I need to add 2 eggs and 2 egg yolks, and then I'm going to beat it for 5 minutes or so until it becomes nice and light and fluffy, and this will form the base for the ganache. Right, my chocolate is lovely and melted here, so I'm ready to fold this into my egg and sugar mix. I want basically to fold all the chocolate in. I think I'm good to go to assemble my Millionaires chocolate tart now, okay? So what I need to do first is just trim off. You remember we did the overhang for the pastry? I just need to trim that off. So what I want to do basically is with a sharp knife is just slowly drag that across the top. Okay. Let's get to the business of filling this baby. Right, I want to start off now by putting my caramel layer in. I've bought a ready-made caramel, okay, and then we're just going to pour it into the base to create a nice even layer. Okay, now before I put my chocolate in there, I just want to spike it out a little bit with some sea salt flakes, okay, so we're going to create that kind of salted caramel effect as well. We've got the next part, which is the chocolate ganache, so we're going to pour that in. To make sure it just goes nice and even across. You can give it a little juggle here. So the last element I need to do here is add my white chocolate swirls, which we're going to pour into there. Now when it comes to marbling, there's lots of different techniques. This is my own special technique I'm talking about here. It's a very haphazard sort of technique, very freestyle. I just like to get in there and create some lovely swirls. Right then, well, I'm quite happy with my pattern. It's a bit haphazard, but we've got that swirly thing going on there. I'm going to get this into the oven for 20 minutes just so that it sets with just a slight wobble towards the end. And there you have it, a Millionaire marble chocolate tart that's been made with love and joy. And as you can see, we've got lots of lovely pastry going on there. It's really nice and delicate. There's a nice caramel layer that's going to go down so well. And of course, you've got the chocolate.